We're going to welcome Mr. President now. Well, talk to him. Say, welcome, welcome, President Bush. We're glad you're here. I want you to bless him. Speak a blessing to him. Would you do that? Raise your hand to speak a blessing to him. Do some warfare over him. Do some warfare. He has surrounded himself with spirit-filled people. So pray in the spirit over him. Here he is. He's come to visit us. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Tell him, Mr. President. Mr. President. One nation under God.
Okay, hey, hi, hello, this is Editing Madison. I realized that I did not film an introduction to this YouTube video, so let's get into the intro really quick. If you scroll down in my YouTube repertoire, you will see I have filmed a documentary reaction to Jesus Camp before. That was in 2022, before we were in the thick of a second Trump presidency and the end game of Republican politicians was not fully in effect at the rate that it is currently now. I thought it would be interesting, given that 3 years had passed and we are in a completely different political landscape, that I should rewatch it to see what I glean, what are the different things I'm paying attention to, considering the different issues that are affecting us now. And there was a ton. Also, I want to discuss this with the lens of the Democratic Party and how they have failed you guys. I'm definitely left of Democrat for sure in a lot of my politics. And I think it wasn't more apparent than in this specific election cycle that they are plugging their ears and not willing to listen to their constituents. A lot of people are playing the blame game, but it's obvious that a lot of people just didn't feel really motivated to vote because neither candidate was really giving them hope for a future, except for the Republican Party, in the sense that it was destabilizing the status quo that was, becoming more and more unaffordable. The American dream, or whatever it is called, was out of reach for most Americans. Most people can't afford to even live in a two-bedroom apartment working full-time anywhere in the country. It is virtually unaffordable for anyone to think of buying a house without help. And the Democrats decided to run a right-leaning Republican light campaign as they were trying to differentiate themselves from Trump while also committing a genocide and allowing Israel a blank check to bomb innocent people with our money, not to mention all the money sent to Ukraine. So I thought it was important to rewatch this, considering a lot of the fear-mongering that had been done during the campaign cycle about where we are as a country and the truth of it. And the truth of the matter is, this didn't start with Trump. It would not end with Trump. This is a long-standing, 6 decades old Republican strategy to use the evangelical Christian right to intertwine the politics with religion in order to gain more ground with those people. And it has worked. Project 2025 is just the most recent name for a long-standing slow burn plan that they've been putting into place slowly for a very long time. Going into local communities, taking over school boards. This has been happening in waves for 60 plus years, ever since the civil rights movement ended. And so I think that it's completely disingenuous and ahistorical for the Democratic Party, who have been sitting on their hands for this entire time, to put the blame only on the Trump administration when this documentary was made in 2005, filmed in 2005, released in 2006, and was just very clearly a drop in the bucket in terms of the fact that these documentary filmmakers were a fly on the wall in terms of the reality of what the evangelical right had been doing for a long time. It's clearly a well-oiled machine. You see everything. You see the homeschooling manuals and the media that the kids watch and the, social circles that the kids are in and the churches and the camps and all the people that these people socialize with are within this circle. And, you see that a lot of these kids have parents who are veterans, and you see all of these different things. That is not by accident, right? So when they're filming this in 2005, it's obvious that this has been going on for a very long time, starting and indoctrinating the kids very young in terms of what a good Christian is. And it just so happens that those tenets align with the Republican conservative policies, right? So it's very disingenuous for the Democratic Party to fearmonger over Project 2025 when this has been the plan for several decades. This entire documentary, I was just shocked to see, mention of Palestine, mention of Christian Zionism, mentions of things that a lot of creators on TikTok, a lot of creators that I'm mutuals with have been talking to y'all about for a long time, especially since this election and especially since October 7th. There's, Islamophobia. This is filmed in a post 9/11 America. There's a lot going on in this documentary, but it's a great cross section of what we on the left are talking about when it comes to the realities of this country and the realities of who these political parties are truly. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a valuable thing to watch right now. And I understand that it's not the most fun watch, so people would probably want to watch it with somebody. If you want to watch the unedited version, it's available on my Substack. The link is in the bio. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the link, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below, like the video, all of the things. But there's a reason why I'm choosing to watch this documentary now, and it's to show a mirror to the reality that we've been living through. The person who's the narrator in this documentary is already telling you that 20 years ago in 2005 that we are very far gone when it comes to recalibrating and re-solidifying the definitions between church and state in this country, particularly with the right. And that was 20 years ago. And this documentary was slated to win an Academy Award, which is very obvious that this wasn't some humdrum documentary that nobody has heard of. It was well documented. It was well distributed during the time that it was released. A lot of people watched it in high school, and yet and still the Democratic Party that's supposed to have the answers did nothing to counter it, did nothing to have any kind of policy to push back on what these people have been clearly doing out in the open for a long time. I'm not doing this to do anything but ask you to ask questions about the leadership of this country and the political class of this country in terms of the fact, thinking to yourself, do they actually represent you and what do they actually represent? And when you start going down that rabbit hole, you start to see that you have to just follow the money and follow the specific interests of the money. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is a very impromptu video. This is going to be the second time I've reacted to this movie on my YouTube channel. The only difference is we are living in a fascist time. The only difference is Donald Trump is president again, and everything that this movie predicted, discussed back in 2006 is happening currently now. All the warning signs of this movie are already happening. We are living through it right now. The last time I watched this movie was probably in 2022, or maybe early 2023. I think 2022. Which means it's been almost 3 years since that movie has crossed my eyes. And I really, really wanted to rewatch it because I've started to see a lot of different things going on online in terms of our society shifting right in general, and a lot of warning signs that I wanted to talk about. Now, what we're going to be watching today is Jesus Camp. If you don't know what that movie is, I will do a Wikipedia summary as I normally do with all of my reaction videos so we can just understand what we're about to watch. I watched Jesus Camp for the first time probably in high school, early high school or middle school. It was on Netflix. If you've ever seen that meme of that girl with the mic, she's blonde and she's going like this and she's really praising the Lord. That meme is from this movie. Jesus Camp disturbed me the first time I watched it. It disturbed me the second time I watched it. And I'm so glad to watch it again, because having watched it like over 10 years ago and seeing how our political spectrum has actually turned out 10 years later is so interesting. The parallels, the fact that this movie was predicting exactly what we were living through, the fact that none of this should be surprising. So when Kamala was campaigning back in 2024 and talking about and fear mongering about Project 2025, which was scary. I'm not trying to say that it wasn't scary. The issue that I have with it, though, is that this has been the Republican grandstanding soapbox for over 40 years. Okay. Now, the movie we're about to watch was made in 2006 when President Bush was in his second term. So it'll be interesting to see how different things were back then, what people were calling out and pointing out in terms of the evangelical right and their Christian ways and how they were easing into politics and how we're living in 2025. This movie is almost 20 years old. It'll be 20 years old next year. And it'll be interesting to rewatch it with y'all. I'm gonna probably have to edit this version heavily, so if you want the unedited version, hit up my Substack. It'll be posted on there. Link in the bio for that. The paid tier will have the unedited Substack, $5 for the month, $50 for the year. That'll be very unedited, just real raw, and you can basically watch a whole movie with me. This is going to be heavily edited because I'm putting it on YouTube because I want to prove a fucking point. I'm tired of having these reactive ass political conversations that are based on things that have been happening since I've been alive. In 2006, I was 10 years old. Okay. When this movie was created, I was 10 years old. So the fact that these warning signs had been happening since I was 10 years old, that was 19 years ago. And nothing has happened. The Democrats didn't come to save you. They didn't swoop in with a plan. This was a very open book test with all of the secret formulas very often, very clearly on display. And they never built a counter because they never thought that we would go this deep into fascism. They never thought that these people would gain the control that they gained. And that was a miscalculation on so many levels. So we are going to be watching Jesus Camp. This will be my third time watching it in the second Trump presidency. And I will be commenting my thoughts and we will get into it. This is coffee. I'm staying up for y'all. It's time to get into it, baby. Okay, so this is a rundown of what we're about to watch. I like to do this so people understand what we're about to watch every time I do a rundown. Love Wikipedia, hashtag Wikipedia is the truth. Okay. Jesus Camp is a 2006 American documentary film directed by Rachel Grady and Heidi Ewig about a charismatic Christian summer camp where children spend their summers being taught that they have prophetic gifts and can take back America for Christ. According to the distributor, it doesn't come with any prepackaged point of view and attempts to be an honest and impartial depiction of one faction of the evangelical Christian community. Jesus Camp premiered at the 2006 Tribeca Film Festival and was sold to A&E Indie Films to Magnolia Pictures, nominated for Best Documentary Feature at the 79th Academy Awards. I didn't know it was nominated for an Academy Award. The film brought controversy to the camp, which led to its eventual closure. Okay, that's all I'm going to get into now because I don't want to spoil the whole thing. But this is a documentary that was filmed in 2005. That came out in 2006, that kind of is, you're stepping into a world that a lot of American people of big city, I didn't grow up in the Bible Belt, child. I did grow up SDA, so I'm sure I'll find some things that I, recognize in terms of what's going on in the evangelical world or whatever, but I grew up in LA, so this is kind of one of those things that a lot of big city folk don't really wrap their head around about how the rest of the country is living, at least the middle of the country in the Bible Belt is living. This is normal. This is normal. So we're stepping into a side of the world that I'm not familiar with, and you will know immediately the parallels that you're about to see when it comes to where we were in 2005 and where we are 20 years later. And it'll shock you because it was already predestined. And that's why when Project 2025 was being fear-mongered by the Democratic Party, it pissed me off because this has been over a 40-year, 50-year long crusade that they've been very open about in terms of the tenets of what they believed. As soon as the Republican Party locked arms with the evangelical right, it was written. All of these things were predictable. All of these things were written. And the fact that the Democratic Party did not, one, take it seriously, did not, two, have a counter, did not, three, protect our rights more, that is a true indictment to their policy making, their political abilities, and all of this and all of that. But we'll comment more throughout the movie. That being said, it is time for us to get into some Jesus camp, okay? Let's get into it.
We dare not sleep through this point of decision because, frankly, future generations depend on us. Pray urgently that God's perfect will be done.
We are engaged today in what they call culture war.
Girl.
We didn't start it.
Yes, you did.
We, by His grace, are going to end it.
And they are.
We should say, yes, we want to reclaim America for Christ.
Up in the pulpit, this mean-spirited message, us against them. And that's what the religious right is doing in the United States now. It is dividing this country. All right, we have Tyree in Hillside, Illinois, listens on WCBT. What do you have on your mind?
I'm a Christian. I'm a Bible-believing Christian. Somehow these guys don't jive with the Christianity and what I've learned. I mean, there's an authoritarian kind of way about them, and there's nothing gentle, there's nothing compassionate. To me, there's nothing Christian about them.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's upside down. I mean, yeah, I've been raised a Christian all my life. I think that's probably the thing that upsets me most about what's happening.
None of it really makes any sense to me.
So there's some new brand of religion out there that somehow things have changed since Matthew wrote about Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus told us to be peacemakers. And right now, everything they do, they say they do in the name of God. That we need to go to war in the name of God. They're being told that George Bush, of all people, is a holy man who's been anointed with the job of creating
Sound familiar?
a society, not just in America, but all over the world.
You and I know that's bull.
There's this entanglement of politics with religion.
Ciao.
Children.
Okay, I want to pause there and I just want you to pay attention to this. So often when crazy things happen, people act like they were not people saying or viewing their opinions openly, like Nazi Germany or slavery, when there was dissent the whole way through. No one thought that it was okay. People were always moralizing the issue. It wasn't the norm, and we have to understand this. So where we are as a country, there have been warning signs. People have been loudly. This was nominated for an Academy Award 20 years ago. This is not new. The conversations that are being had are not new. And the fact that the Democratic Party, the party whose job it was to protect the people, to protect the workers, to protect people's rights against this bullshit, to have a counter, to help the working class so that they wouldn't fall for this bullshit, didn't do anything. And this was made 20 years ago is insane. It's also interesting to see someone talk about the intertwining of politics and religion as if this country has ever been secular. If you're interested, go watch this podcast episode on Bloodstained where I discuss why Black people shouldn't be capitalists, and I go into capitalism having ties to Protestantism, having ties to Calvinism, and how that is a religious practice in and of itself, which speaks to the irrational way that people believe in it as an economic philosophy, and they think of it as a religious practice. This country has never been secular. The white supremacy is based in religion. This country has never been secular. It's unserious. It's fundamentally unserious. But the way in which Ronald Reagan intertwined the evangelical right to Republican politics is something that we are going to have to deal with, like violently deal with, and eradicate from this country soon. It's coming to a head.
Christian Grandson are fat and lazy. They don't want to give up their evening meal. They don't want to fast for a 3-day fast or a 40-day fast or whatever. Do you know Muslims train their children from the time they're 5 years old to fast during
the Islamophobia is crazy in this movie. I remember. It's insane.
Raise your hands and we're going to pray in tongues. Hallelujah. Let's do it. Oh, we love you, Jesus. So kohora shada kapala busida. Lord, shada kapala busida. Holy Spirit.
Ciao.
Feel his power. Feel his power. And the Holy Spirit is going to whisper in your ear what to say. You have that. Don't stop. Don't stop. This is the greatest day of your life. Next to the day you got saved.
This is a picture in the title. Crying.
She's not in a trance. She's not out of it. She's very aware of what's going on. She's just hooking up with the Spirit. She's just staying focused.
What the fuck? I also want to say this too, because like having grown up Seventh-day Adventist, which would to some is a very conservative sect of Christianity. It is. I didn't grow up super conservative because my parents made sure I wasn't, but it is very conservative. Moments like these are manufactured. They're like moments, especially as a kid, where you get swept up in the Spirit. We don't do the tongues thing. That's thought to be a first day church thing. That's thought to be kind of devilish in my religion. So we don't do the speaking in tongues thing. We don't do that kind of stuff. But there are moments when you're in a group of people and you feel the emotion in the room. Like there's nothing like having a crazy choir sing an amazing song and the goosebumps come and everyone's on their feet and everyone's clapping and everyone's participating. There is a spirit in that room that everyone's participating in that can make you feel like you belong. It can make you feel safe. It can make you feel seen in a lot of ways. And as a kid, you're very susceptible to that range of emotions. So if you listen to what Becky's saying, and she's like, this is the best day of your life other than being saved, all of these things, she does this every week. You know what I'm saying? She does this every single week. And these kids are indoctrinated their entire lives. You have babies in there, you see? And so it's this like emotional connection that you have. It's a groupthink thing. I will never forget, I read I don't know if it was a poem, it was some sort of excerpt in high school where they were talking about going to one of Hitler's, they were reporting on going to one of Hitler's speeches and the emotion and the feeling that got wrapped up in the room and everything that got caught up and how people were in a fervor, even though what he was saying was so vile and evil. And this is what I mean by mob think, group think, like, and these are kids who are less able to fight off that emotion because this is what their parents are telling them to do. This is what they do every week. This is all they know. So this is positive for them. They know nothing other than this. And then you have these moments of like manufactured closeness to make them believe that they're a part of something in this very specific, very, very sinister way. So the emotions get caught up, you know?
Where should we be putting our efforts? Where should we be putting our focus? I'll tell you where our enemies are putting it. They're putting it on the kids. You go into Palestine, and I can take you to some websites that will absolutely shake you to your foundations and show you photographs of where they're taking their kids to camps like we take our kids to Bible camps, and they're putting hand grenades in their hands. They're teaching them how to put on bomb belts. They're teaching them how to use rifles.
Oh my God.
It's no wonder with that kind of intense training and discipling that those young people are ready to kill themselves for the cause of Islam.
Okay, I did not remember any direct mention of Palestine, but hello, the state we're in, we're watching a literal genocide in Palestine currently right now, and we are seeing a masterclass in Christian Zionism right now. Also, first of all, Palestine is a nation state. It's not a race of people. It's crazy how they conflate the two and how Christian Zionism and actual Jewish Zionism play off each other. They're not all Islamic in Palestine. They're not all Muslim in Palestine. Bro, they're Christian. They're Catholic. They're Jewish. They just so happen to be Palestinian because they are born and raised and they're native to the land of Palestine. Do you see what we've been telling you for the past however many months? White supremacy and Zionism are one and the same. They just use Christianity and fundamental Jewish faith in order to further their fucking cause. Bomb belts? Are you kidding me? These people are being ethnically cleansed from their fucking homes. Oh, yeah, they train them young. That's where our enemies, the terminology. And it's interesting because this was filmed in 2005, which means this is 4 years after 9/11, 2 years after we invaded Iraq. The Islamophobia is rife in this country at this point in time. So it's not surprising, but I didn't expect a Palestine mention 10 minutes into the doc. That's crazy. Enemies, they said. Enemies. The dehumanization is sick.
Committed to the cause of Jesus Christ as the young people are to the cause of Islam. I want to see them as radically laying down their lives for the gospel as they are
hell
in
fucking
Pakistan and in Israel and Palestine and all those different places, because we have, excuse me, but we have the truth.
There is no truth. How about that, bitch? Get comfortable with that, hoe.
I would say there's a friendlier environment now in the United States towards Christianity than there has been in my lifetime. And a lot of it has to do, just in the last few years, has to do with President Bush.
Girl.
He's really brought some real credibility to the Christian faith. He's been very open.
Sorry, I'm going to pause again. Do you know how fucking crazy it is for a white supremacist Anglo-Saxon Christian society? White supremacy's foundations were founded in the fucking Crusades. That's the foundation of white supremacy. It's insane for a white supremacist settler colonial state. This white bitch is going to live here after they've ethnically cleansed, after they've genocided millions of Native Americans who live here, and say they're being persecuted because they're Christian. This country has never been kind to Christian people when everything they've done has been in the name of Christianity. The first religion that the enslaved population was given was a fucking Christian Bible. How are you all powerful and how are you the victim? And then again, I'm putting my podcast episode, I'll put both of them, the Black people shouldn't be capitalist and Black people shouldn't be Christian episode, because I talk about it all in those 2 episodes. It's absolutely fucking insane that this white woman in America, in middle America, mind you, is saying she's being victimized for not being Christian. These people are delusional. Everything in this country, manifested to everything about this country, resides in a Christian foundation. And she's going to sit here and say President Bush brought Christianity into the Americas and it's safe to be an open Christian here now. These people, this is 20 years ago. Like, what?
This moment right now, today, is a fulfillment of prophecy. We've got to stand up and take back the land.
From who? Take back the land? Do you hear that rhetoric?
Get to know you guys more. Now, both of you came with Mark, right? Yep. And he's your children's pastor? Yep. But you're not related to him, right? No, he's coming to our camp this summer. Are you guys coming too?
North Dakota?
To North Dakota?
Yes.
You are coming?
Yeah.
Totally cool. Is your whole family coming? Or just you guys?
I think just us.
Awesome.
Like my brother, my twin brother.
Okay, I want to know more about you guys. How long have you been a Christian?
I've been a Christian. I was at 5. I got saved.
Yeah?
Because I just wanted more of life.
Yeah?
There was just nothing that I thought was fun.
You thought at 5 years old there was nothing fun? Really? Already?
So
what do you think this camp is going to be like? What are you expecting? What are you expecting God to do for you?
what am I expecting?
Crazy. She ran the game tape and targeted the kids that she thought were really devout. Delulu. These people are crazy.
I can't believe that.
I'm shy.
You're shy. I can't believe it.
Except
that's
for when
okay.
things are happening in the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, then you're not shy at all.
No.
Oh, you guys are great. Really appreciate you coming.
Alright.
Can't wait to see you again this summer. Yeah. All right. Good to meet you, Taryn.
All right.
Good to meet you, Levi. We'll talk to you later.
I love the name Levi. She's a psycho witch. You see how she targeted those kids? She was watching game tape. Evangelicals believe that to attain salvation, they must be born again by accepting Jesus as their Savior. 43% of evangelical Christians become born again before the age of 13. Do you see these statistics, people? So, while this ad is running, there's so much meat to this movie. It's insane. Do you see why I wanted you to watch this? Do you see why we're watching it together right now? Do you see the parallels? They've been birthed and bred to believe that this nation is not a Christian nation, that they are under attack, and they need to take it back from an entity. This is a perfect fuel. They're getting this in church, mind you. They've been born and raised in these places. This is a perfect fuel for the political side of things to start putting the fears, the culture war fears into their mind. The Mexicans are coming from the border. This is your country. The liberals are ungodly people, and they're making this a whole country Sodom and Gomorrah. We have to take it back. This is what they're playing into. It goes in tandem with each other. It's crazy. This is 20 years ago. Oh, child.
Was it an explosion? Did we come from a glob of goo? Ugh. I don't think so.
It's been said that we are the result of an explosion. Is this true? Is this scientific? Or is it just based on a belief?
Levi! Come here. I need to be near you. All right, let's go over some things. One popular thing to do in American politics is to note that the summers in the United States over the past few years have been very warm. As a result, global warming must be real. What's wrong with this reasoning?
It's only gone up 0.6 degrees.
Yeah, it's not really a big problem, is it?
No, I don't think that it's going to hurt us.
It's a huge political issue, global warming is, and that's why it's really important for you to understand.
Is evolution too?
Not really.
Creationism?
It's becoming one now. What if you had to go to a school where the teacher said creationism is stupid, and you're stupid if you believe in it?
I think they should.
Well, or what if you had to go to a school where your teacher said evolution is stupid, and you're stupid if you believe in it?
I wouldn't mind that.
You wouldn't mind it. If you look at creationism, you realize it's the only possible answer to all the questions.
That's exactly what Dad said.
Mm-hmm. It's the only possible answer to all the questions.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Huh? Do you see what I mean? How they've been training the next generation. This has been going on for decades, folks. She is homeschooling her child on creationism as being the only possible. Did you see how they entered in with the global warming conversation? It's only gone up 0.6 degrees. That's not a lot. These people are training their kids to be rejecting to true factual things. These parents are not, no shade, smart enough to teach their kids and homeschool their kids. They're indoctrinating their kids without real evidence. That was a class lesson. That is not teaching anybody anything. That's leading and indoctrinating your kid to believe a particular type of thing. And by adding in the political conversation, like, well, this is part of your quiz. What's wrong with the reasoning that the summers are getting hotter and all of this stuff? This is why we're in the place that we're in. This was 20 years ago. He was 12 years old. I was 10. This kid is 2 years older than me. He's 31 now. He's 31 now, and no shade, I don't know, maybe this movie, jolted him into reality, this experience of being a part of this documentary and the attention he got. But it's like, there are millions more of people just like Levi living in the middle of this country who are being taught the same way, who are being exposed to the same things, where their circle is mostly white people, and they go to the same church, and they're homeschooled by their parents, and that is where it stops and ends. There is no pushback. There is no figuring things out. There is no such thing as research. It's only leading questions in indoctrination, and that's all they've known their entire lives. This is who we're dealing with. Not only that, a rejection of scientific fact, a rejection of objective facts, because it's objectively true. And look, 20 years later, they're talking about global warming. This was 20 years ago. Okay, and here, my house just burned down because of a cataclysmic event. Texas just had an insane fucking flood. The East Coast is underwater. And the New York weather has been recategorized as subtropical. We are being held hostage by these people who've been indoctrinated this way. And that is how the right does it. They do it quietly. They don't mind a few losses. But in the back of their mind, they're training up a generation to completely reject critical thought, to completely reject anything that they don't feel is true, feelings over facts, and there's no such thing as objective universal truths, point blank. 75% of homeschool kids in the United States are evangelical Christians. How insane is that statistic? 75%. This is 20 years ago.
Doesn't exist.
I love this juxtaposition with this guy. He's the narrator.
Take everything you want from it, because you know what? It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We're not here for very long.
Exactly.
Christ is coming to take us away.
Exactly.
So cut down
capitalism at its finest.
All of our oil.
Exactly.
Take advantage of everything that the earth has.
Exactly.
That's why
drill, baby, drill. Sell off the national forests. Sell off the protective lands.
What is
exactly.
You're not understanding about the fundamentals of Christianity?
Hello.
How did you get here?
Absolutely.
Our president is still telling Americans that we should teach creationism in our schools.
Wow.
That we should teach it right alongside with evolution.
I think we've become absolutely complacent in this, and I think that they're accomplishing exactly what they
20 years ago.
What's happening in Kansas?
This is 20 years ago.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
Oh, they have to teach intelligent design right along with Darwin's evolution. Well, think about that. You got 600,000 children that are being lied to.
Hello.
No conflict between the two.
Well,
and
no,
that religion is not science.
Exactly.
we have a population, 25% of the American population right now describe themselves as
20 years ago.
About 80 million people.
How many people voted for Trump?
Elbow their way into positions of power in America.
Hello?
That is the MO of a group that is committed to, like I say, building a government that they're comfortable with.
Hello?
It'd be kind of fun to be one of those, like, people who paint nails and stuff, because you would get a chance to tell them about the Lord. I mean, just relaxing Christian music in the background, doing it, you know what I mean? It would just be really relaxing, and they would just be able to they wouldn't have many walls at that second, and they would just be able to accept, because people will notice when I'm just dancing for the flesh, and I do that sometimes, and I must admit that and I really need to get over that.
Army kid.
I'm not the only one who makes that. People out there, and you're not the only one who makes that mistake.
Can you have a cookie? You can have a cookie.
Can I have a cookie?
Okay. All right, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance first now that everybody is, before we get on to something else. Jenny, Christian, will you stand up, please? Okay.
I pledge allegiance
Is that the Israeli flag?
to the Savior, to whose kingdom is safe.
Let me see.
One brotherhood, uniting all Christians in unity and in love.
Okay. Turn on the Bible.
I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's
Babe,
word. I will make it.
the Israeli flag is up in this piece. Child. I rebuke thee. Oh, I rebuke this. Oh my gosh. Christian Zionism.
Our children are on loan to us.
That's what they say before they live their life and eat.
How we raised our children. And I'm like,
So
Lord,
crazy.
You've given me this daughter, and how am I supposed to train her? What am I supposed to do now? Right? And I bring her to places where she can learn this, from Becky, from Pastor Carol, from different people. But the Lord told me what you need to train her in is train her about character.
Okay, so we're almost 30 minutes into this, and I have this is, it speaks for itself. This is why when Kamala was choosing the campaign choices that she chose, it pissed me off, because it's like, look, we need to level with the reality of this country. And if you're not going to level with the reality of this country, then what are we even doing here? Right? You're campaigning on things like fracking. You're committing and complicit in a genocide, killing babies. We're watching it on our phones. The Democratic establishment is falling apart and eroding because there's elderly people running the shit, and there's no age limits or term limits. And you're trying to scare me with the Heritage Foundation's 2025 when look at this. This is Project 2025. This is project. These kids have been trained from birth. We are combating this, and like the guy said in the radio show, it comes like a thief in the night to y'all. And then all of a sudden, you guys are, Project 2025. Oh, it's happening. This is what they want to implement. This is what they want to do. This is what they want to do to us. This is what they want to implement. And it's like, boo. Dude, this has been the plan, and it hasn't been a secret. If you would just leave out of your fucking big city, LA city, you would go to a small town and you would see that it's a bunch of all of these types of people doing these types of things. And the fact that they have not, in this entire time, come up with some sort of strategy to reach these communities, right? What they could have done is codify Roe v. Wade to protect our rights. What they could have done is codify gay marriage to protect our rights. What they could have done is made sure that these areas were funded with education, free food, paths to college, paths to higher education, healthcare. They didn't do that. They didn't address these people's material circumstances, so the church did. So we're competing with the church now. The church that has an agenda to their enemy. This is horrifying. I'm horrified.
I love this so much that I have given my whole life to see to it that you get there.
Ew. See, they're scared now. What is this? No practical skills, no life lessons, no critical thinking skills, nothing of the sort. No really trying to prepare them for the life outside. Being obedient, staying in church. If you stray from the path, you're gonna die. Warlocks should be put to death. About Harry Potter.
And it's time to clean up your act.
See, here we go.
Come up here and get washed.
Oh, see? See?
We can't have phonies in the army of God.
Are they crying? They're stressed.
Put your hands up.
They're stressed.
Whoa, baby.
No social skills, but obedience.
Father, we just wash them with the water of your word.
It's just a regular water bottle. See, look. Look, they're scared and they're stressed. These are children. Oh my God.
Name it. Name it out loud. Name it. What do you need to be forgiven of?
Oh, Lord. And it's like, I just stole candy from the candy shop. This is what they're breaking down. They're breaking down. See? Look how stressed they are. And the parents are like, that's right, bitch. Now you'll be scared as straight forever. Look at these kids. It's scaring me.
Sometimes I don't even believe what the Bible says.
Wow. They're scared.
It makes me a faker. It makes me feel guilty and bad because God has always talked to me about that. And I kind of rejected him.
Oh my God. Look how intense this is. For kids, they're so uncomfortable. He's being so honest and vulnerable. Oh, he just wants to believe, but he don't. I want to... Where are they now? I need to check in on these kids. Because he seemed like after this experience, he got scared straight into a different type of straight.
At that point, man became a living soul. Now, I tell the kids, if you want to become a stronger Christian and have your spirit man be strong, there's certain things you need to do. If you pray every day, your spirit man will get stronger. If you go to church and learn more about God, your spirit is going to get stronger. If you don't read the Bible, come on, it's got to squeak. Wrong balloon. Your spirit will get weaker.
See how the tactics.
For instance, we have a
the tactics.
It's going to come out of me. And that ain't going to be me up there preaching. It is, but it's not going to be me. And we can't just sit around on the couch all day, because Satan will be after you. He's not going to sit around either. If Satan's not sitting around, you shouldn't be sitting around.
Oh, Lord.
Satan will try to trip you off your path, off of your race, off the course. Don't let him do that. In Jesus' name, do not let Satan get you off what God has for you.
Oh my God.
We are a generation that needs to rise up.
Oh my God.
That needs to rise up and run with that baton. Run with our whole heart. Everything we've got.
You see? Lord, I rebuke this energy. See, now she's crying again. She's crying. See, she's crying again. Here we go.
Somebody come tell me what happened.
See.
Pray it out, Tori.
Pray it out.
See, this is a meme. See? Manufactured. See? This is a meme. This is a meme. See? How disturbing. The story behind the meme. Lord, this is a crazy ass fucking movie. This is crazy. There's still so much to go. It's crazy. I told you. First of all, I told you. Second of all, I told you. I used to do documentary reactions on this page a long time ago, and I might restart it because it's like, let the people watch the docs. The docs are here. We love the docs, and like, they have something to say, and I have a lot of commentary. I think I might bring that back on this channel in terms of content because it's fun to like watch something with somebody, and I watch a lot of documentaries, and it'd be fun to just like record myself watching them and talking about it. But this is so relevant to our date. This was 20 years ago, you guys. The Democrats fucked up so bad. So bad. It's so embarrassing. And this is why they deserve the hate that they get. Absolutely. Because how could you fuck up this bad? This movie wasn't made yesterday. This movie was made 20 years ago. Before Donald Trump. Before all of it. Oh God. See the American flag? Do you see? He's a deity. This is exactly how they worship Donald Trump. Come on. He has not.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Tell him, Mr. President, one nation under God.
Oh my God.
A person's a person, no matter how
Child. And here we are without abortion. Post-Dobbs decision. Do you see how they indoctrinated the kids? This is what they did.
Tonight, I believe something is going to start.
That is not what it looks like.
Seriously. Kids, I believe that you're the beginnings of a movement.
Oh my God.
That can raise up a moral outcry that can overthrow abortion in America and can turn this. Would you like to be a part of that kind of company?
Crazy. Absolutely insane. The kids, see, what? Child. How scary. How scary is this? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. These people. I'm so pissed watching this right now. People are literally dying in their cars because they can't get an abortion. There are literal people, gynecologists fleeing states because they could be persecuted for performing abortions. This is why. This is how. This was 20 years ago. This was 20 fucking years ago. And Obama and RBG did not codify your right as a woman to have an abortion, boo. She wouldn't retire. They could not sack them courts. Everything they worked towards happened. Every single thing they worked towards is happening currently. And it was in the card. This is filmed 20 years ago. Righteous judges. They're praying for the Supreme Court to change so that they could overturn abortion. And then you're showing figurines of babies in different states of being, growing in your womb at the same look as a baby. You're teaching these kids not to question. You're indoctrinating them. We had global warming talk at the beginning of this conversation. We had Palestine conversation in the beginning of this conversation. We had we had pro-Bush conversation. We had abortion talk. They're hitting the heavy hitters that have changed in this day and age. In 2005, I was born with all my rights as a woman. I cannot say the same for 2025, and that is insane. We've gone backwards because they have been slowly eroding the cultural fabric of this country purposefully in order to get their agenda placed. They've been working tirelessly in order to get their agenda placed. And what have the Democrats done? They fumbled the ball at every turn. Why? This isn't new. This isn't anything new. Project 2025 isn't new. This is everything that they wanted to happen. So why is it shocking? Why are we fear-mongering? Like it hasn't been slowly happening this whole time, that you've been ignoring, that you haven't been doing anything, that you haven't been putting stopgaps. There needs to be minimum education requests. All public schools need to be funded. These kids need to have access to real fucking truth and education. Church should not be allowed in school. I don't care. Feed these people, clothe these people, provide them with health care, educate them properly, and we would not be in this predicament. But because Democrats have their billionaire overlords just like the conservatives do, they don't have any incentive to do this. This is crazy.
No, America, I mean, do you think you know your own country? Well, I got to tell you, you don't.
Okay.
There is a religious, political army of foot soldiers out there that are being directed by a political right. This is not tinfoil hat conspiracy stuff. It's happening. These people, you know, they don't look like politicos. They don't look like politicians. They don't look like they have like they're on a bandwagon for anybody. I mean, they just look like your neighbor. But when you put them all together, what ends up happening is they start taking control in small slices. And so this is the stage. Let me tell you something.
20 years ago.
The White House, Congress, the judiciary.
Generation.
These people form a powerful voting bloc. George Bush and Karl Rove owe these people big time. We've been asleep at the wheel. Conservative, political, fundamentalist element.
20 years ago.
And power in this country.
He's saying this in 2005.
How anybody can look at this picture and say, oh, you know, this, doesn't affect me. It's just absurd.
Baby.
Things that are nothing to nullify the things that are. You see the big towers here and the big buildings and the big men. God says,
okay, why is he rocking so much?
Come on.
He's high.
Hallelujah.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ew. They need help. And it worked. It worked. Oh my God.
God hears the cries of children. Makes me want to cry.
You're a psychopath. You've ruined this country. You are a sociopath.
Movement, Becky, interferes with that. We're doing harm. We're doing harm to the progression of mankind.
I don't think any child gets anything by choice.
Oh.
As I understood, your question to me was, do you feel it's right for the fundamentalists to indoctrinate their children with their own beliefs? I guess fundamentally, yes, I do. Because every other religion is indoctrinating their kids. Hello? I would like to see more churches indoctrinating.
You can tell a child anything. Just like I said, you can tell a child, you can make a child into a soldier that carries an AK-47.
You could call it brainwashing, but I am radical and passionate in teaching children.
You could call it brainwashing, she says.
Christians, as God-fearing people, as Americans, if you want to take.
Well, Becky, let me ask you this. How do we ignore that all of a sudden we're creating children's soldiers for the Republican
Hello.
Party? How does that figure into anything that Christ had to say about how we should live our life on the earth?
I am not aware of any churches that are out there with a political
please. Oh, please. Yes, you are.
Because at the same time, I want to say, and I don't have any problem saying to my children, we are pro-life.
I got to tell you, God is watching us. God has a very special place for those people who mess with our children. It's not a pretty place.
You know what? I'm not going to go there, Mike.
You know, what's always made this country special, what's always set this country apart, is because there is something that we call a separation between church and state. That's always something that separates us and has separated us for 200 years. It has worked. I respect your right as a fundamentalist to teach your children whatever you want to teach them. But don't let that bleed over into the public sector.
Hello.
Bleed over into the schools.
Hello.
I beg to differ with you. Christianity is important. We believe it's the most important religion in the world because it changes the lives of people.
But Becky, it's a witch's brew. It's going to take over democracy.
Hello.
I think democracy is the greatest political system on earth, but that's just it. It's just what's on earth. There, and it's ultimately designed to destroy us.
Oh.
We have to give everyone equal freedom.
Oh.
And ultimately, that's going to destroy us. And so the perfect world is not going to be perfect until Jesus is truly Lord.
Oh.
Becky, thanks for joining us, okay?
Yes. I told you so. This is why, your favorite leftist creators, this is why people that you hate to watch on TikTok, this is why they've been saying what they've been saying. And I'm not even going to the beginning, right? This is well into the well-oiled machine of the conservative Republican Party. This is well into that. This is not anything new at this point when this movie is filmed. This is decades old. So ask yourself, why was there not a counter? Why was there not a counter? This guy 20 years ago was ringing the alarm. It's going to bleed into the public sphere. It's going to bleed into politics. It's going to change this country like a thief in the night. And here we are in 2025. See? See? Here we go. See, here we go.
Some single sentences. Number one, it's a new day. Number two, liberalism is dead.
20 years ago.
Number three, the majority of Americans are
20 years ago.
Number four, you can count on us showing up
20 years ago.
And number five, let the church rise.
20 years ago.
Thank you, Dr. Sutton.
20 years ago. That was Jesus Camp. Thank you for watching this with me. I think it's an important watch just to prove why I am the way I am in terms of politics. Told y'all, we in for it. And it's been happening for much longer than you think. Love y'all. Mwah. Link in the bio for everything, for all my socials. Subscribe, like, and subscribe the channel. Love you guys. Black Lives Matter, Free Palestine until it's backwards. I'm tired. It's late. Goodbye.